always a special Comic-Con tradition to be welcomed by the cast of Once Upon a Time. Some old friends here that we've been talking to for years. Colin, Lana, it's great to see you.
Likewise.
And welcome to Comic-Con and welcome to the cast of this show, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's great to see you all.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about, we just said this when you stepped in here. I was asking you, does it feel a little bit different? I mean, you've been coming to Comic-Con for years and you know the fans are just voracious and excited to see you, but there's got to be a little bit of a different energy, in a good way, hopefully. Give me a sense of what it's like this year.
Absolutely, in a good way. It is different. Well, we have a new cast, and that's what really makes it different.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I think change is really good.
So when you guys heard about the plans, what was your first reaction for either of you? I mean, were you a little bit worried that, like, because that's a big transition to make for something that's been working for a while and a cast that's really become close. What were your initial thoughts, and sort of give me a sense of how you've been feeling the last couple of months?
For me, I think I was excited to see where the guys could go with the show. You know what I mean? Like, we've always been able to do things, or you know, certainly like Eddie and Adam and all the writers have managed to create these different worlds, different sort of versions of the characters, and I think to close one chapter of the book and do a completely new book and try and reinvent it and sort of but incorporate parts of the previous one and stuff, I just thought it was really clever. And for me, I was just really excited to see what would happen, you know, with an older Henry, what the relationships would be like then for Regina, Henry, Hook, Henry, all that kind of stuff, and where that world would be. And we're in a different place. We're in Seattle, so.
Exactly. So before we meet some of our new friends here, I'm curious just sort of where we find Regina and Hook. Can you give me a sense? Does it feel like a little bit like you're picking up where you left off? There's obviously a big jump here. So what's been happening? Where are you? Just give me a sense of where you're at.
Well, I'd say our characters have definitely shifted a bit, but you know, you will still get a taste of old Regina and old Hook, because we do have flashbacks, and that's what we do on this show. Is we love our flashbacks, right? Because it tells so much about how our characters got to the place where they are now. So those versions of ourselves are still there.
Okay.
I do also think that's part of the appeal, is that we're going to be slightly different versions of the characters that we've played for. Well, I've played for 5 years and 6 years for Lana, and you know, it's going to be fun to be able to investigate and try and reinterpret our characters who we've sort of created and help, you know, bring to life in a different way, which is also fun, you know. Which
is also part of the appeal for both of us, because, you know, when the boys were pitching the new season and our new-ish characters, and that's exciting. Every actor wants to play different characters or different versions of these characters, and both Colin and I have had so many opportunities to play different versions of our character, and so this is just another layer.
Totally.
So it's awesome.
So let's talk about some of our new friends and one returning character in a way, obviously. You know, Henry is...
Got one episode. Just one.
But we've gotten to know...
the first of many.
Technically 2 scenes only, but yeah.
There you go. But I mean, we got to know, you know, the young Henry, obviously, over many years, and we're finding a much different one, it seems, in Once Upon a Time now. What's happened?
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, so Henry, since day one, has just been, we've seen the journey of this kid who, you know, is so genuine and earnest and innocent, really. I mean, he's got the heart of the truest believer. You know, that's who he's always been. So I think what's cool about this is you see how time and the passage of time and how age can potentially change someone in certain ways. So I think that's going to be one of the really cool things, is we're going to see how a person like him, such a unique, special person, could start to shift as he becomes older. So you know, it's going to be surprising, and I really look forward to seeing, you know, what the guys continue to do with that too. But there's going to be some really cool stuff coming.
I mean, you've had some time to kind of get used to this, because you were in the finale last season. For you guys, literally, we're minutes in a way, because I mean,
yes, we are.
Perhaps you've been shooting for a bit, I assume, but you were just basically introduced here.
Yeah, no, we've only done the first episode, and we just started the second episode, so it's all fairly new. But I think right from episode 1, you're going to completely see a different world, and that's really exciting. I mean, I know the interesting part about the whole journey this time around, I think it's have an understanding of everybody. I grew up reading stories like Cinderella. And I'm not from, the original. I don't look like the original Cinderella. I'm from the Dominican Republic, but it's still a relative story, and it really touched me, I think, even growing up, because it's still a love story, and the struggles that people go through, all of that is universal. Sure. Pain and love is universal. So it's going to be really interesting to see that love story play out with a new set of rules and a new in a different kind of a new version. I think she's an edgy Cinderella. I don't think you've seen that.
Excellent. For you, what was it like just being out there today? I'm curious for you, Gabrielle, were you looking forward to this day, to sort of getting to meet the fans for the first time?
I've never been to Comic-Con before, so I wasn't sure what to expect. I mean, everyone had given me a little bit of advice about, not losing it. I don't know. I haven't lost it yet.
Okay. Any moment now
the day
could
is
happen.
young.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've heard about the fan base. It's extraordinary. I think it's so beautiful that people can invest so much of their lives into a story, whether it be in a book or on television, or whatever medium. I just think it's fantastic and extremely exciting to be a part of that, and also not knowing what's to come. Right. Yeah. Which is sort of the intrigue and sometimes the stress of being on a television show, is truly not knowing where on earth we're headed. Mm-hmm. So I'm in for the ride. What
would you guys say about the fan base to these new cast members here, in terms of, I mean, I've covered all sorts of shows, all sorts of films. There's something very unique about the Once Upon a Time fans.
Yeah, I would say just get ready for a lot of love, a lot of passion, a lot of heart, a lot of excitement, support. We have the most rabid fans, I think, that I've ever experienced. They are why we are here today.
I mean, it's a community. It's a community. They have their own community now, which is even more independent from us.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that's how we felt walking into the show now. That's the beautiful part of it, because they've been used to, Lana and Colin have been a part of it since the beginning. It was really welcoming to walk into a set where they really knew the ins and outs of everything, and really we've had guidance since the very beginning, and that's been great.
Yeah, I mean, I was with Colin briefly last night, and I saw some of the fans, and I'm sure you experienced this a fair amount. Like, there was a teenage girl that kind of almost fainted in front of you, essentially. It was kind of something to watch.
That was my daughter.
Do you ever get used to that? I mean, how do you that's not a normal human interaction that we're brought up to prepare for. I mean, that's got to be...
I mean, I'd rather that than wild. They puke.
That's true. That's fair. Please, fans, don't puke in front of Colin.
No, to be honest with you, it's not something that you get used to. It's well, certainly I don't. I think it's for me, like, whenever we do something where there's a lot of fan interaction, I always feel blessed to be able to see people come together who might not ever have met before, who have a common interest, but who also, an awful lot of our fans, feel alone and that's what's so great about this show, is that it gives them hope, and they come together. They create this whole world, and I think it's fantastic, and it's great to be a part of a show that tries to just promote hope and love and positivity. Which is
now more than ever we could use.
Now more than ever. Yeah.
Yes.
Fair to say. It's always good to see you guys, and a real pleasure to meet you all.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to the cast, and welcome to Comic-Con.
Thank you so much.
See you guys next time.